All right, real quick, my man Caleb Plant schools the casuals on Devin Haney's boxing as far as his last match goes. So let's go ahead and listen to this. I'm going to circle back around with some commentary.
It's not Devin's job to make the fight more competitive. And when I first seen like the first round of the Devin fight, I'm like, man, he looks a little jittery, like maybe a little PTSD from the last fight, till he, kind of settles down and finds his rhythm and finds his timing and his distance. Let me just use the whole ring until I figure out where I'm at and what I'm doing, and then, go from there. And then the third round went, and then the fifth round went, and then the seventh round went. And, then before you know it, 12 rounds gone by, and he left the ring unscathed, uncut, unbruised, and was ready to move on to the round fight, right? And I feel like a lot of people were like, oh, he's scared, that's why he's fighting like that. But when you fight a whole fight like that, if that was nervous energy, you would have burnt yourself out. You would have been, like, he clearly trained to fight like that, so that was purposeful. He did that on purpose. Because fighting like that for 12 rounds is not easy. The amount of discipline it takes, the amount of mental focus it takes, the amount of leg conditioning it takes, it's not easy. Now, was it the most appetizing fight? No. Was it the most back and forth fight? No. Was it the most, exciting and, man, I want to run that one back? No. But it's not Devin's job to make the fight more competitive. Mm-hmm. It's not Devin's job to make the fight more exciting. It's Jose's job to make the fight more competitive. It's Jose's job to make the fight more exciting.
A lot of people want to criticize Devin's performance, and to a certain degree, I understand it, but I didn't understand how more people didn't understand what he was doing. And I'm going to tell you what's even worse about that. That's kind of what commentators are for. But even Antonio Tarver dropped the ball on explaining exactly what Devin Haney was doing, and that's why it takes a professional to come in and actually lay it down for you so you guys can understand it. That had nothing to do with somebody being scary or PTSD or nothing like that. Like I said before, Devin was not there to entertain you. He was on a card with two bigots. So if you guys was interested in that fight, or interested in those fights, or interested in those fighters, we know why. So Devin wasn't there to entertain you. Devin Haney was there to get a win, to secure his rematch with Ryan Garcia. That's all he was there for. That's all he had to do. And given that all of what he has done, he doesn't get credit anyway, I'm not looking to entertain you guys either. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of people have stuff to say about his performance, but yet Canelo threw the least punches thrown in the round in boxing history or something like that. And there's two things that I noticed. When it comes to the fight, Devin was the reason why the fight wasn't exciting. When it comes to Canelo's fight, Skull was the reason that the fight wasn't exciting. What's the common denominator there? I'm gonna let you put that together. It's never the other person's fault to make the fight. It was the challenger, who needed to make the fight exciting. And then on the other end, it's the champion who needed to make the fight exciting. So with Skull, it's the challenger need to do something. With Devin Haney, the champion needs to do something. And like I said, so what's the common denominator? I'm telling you this, first of all, this Devin Haney hate thing, I said it before, it's played out. It's played out because truthfully in the sport of boxing, there's nothing to dislike about Devin Haney if we're talking about just boxing. There's nothing to hate or there's nothing to dislike about him. And like I said, this is coming from a person who wasn't a Devin Haney fan. He made me a fan. So that's why can't nobody tell me shit about Devin Haney. I'm still not a huge fan, but I support the shit out of him because I like the way he moved. But all this talking about Devin and want to drag Devin and talk about Devin, come on, man. This shit is, you guys don't even have a good enough reason to dislike this man. They don't. And at the end of the day, they really don't dislike Devin Haney. They really don't. They ain't got no problem with Devin Haney. Devin Haney is just black. That's it. They personally don't dislike Devin Haney. Devin Haney don't do nothing. Devin Haney don't say nothing to nobody. He's not clever with his words. He doesn't do anything. So hate the guy because of who he is? No. The real reason why people hate Devin Haney is confident, black, successful, undisputed. Anything with success in black, people can't stand, including some blacks. That's the truth. But all this over criticizing him and all that, man, stop it. The kid's done good.